Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the video. In case you're new to my channel, I'm Little Miss Latina 27. I figured I'd probably have some new viewers just because of the title up above, but I wanted to say thank you. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be comparing and contrasting different characters from the show Once Upon a Time, and I'm going to be comparing them with their Disney classic version. So I'm going to look at three things. I'm going to look at their character design, their character development, and their personality. Actually, the second time I filmed this video because I filmed it once before and I really didn't like how it turned out, so I'm going to try and refilm it, so hopefully it's a little more cohesive and flows a little better. And after the video, I am going to be telling you about a giveaway I am doing. It is Once Upon a Time themed, and in case you're not familiar with me or my channel, I am a fashion and beauty lover, so the giveaway is going to be beauty related. It's actually going to be nail polish, and that's all based on Once Upon a Time. I'm picking nail polishes that I think remind me of characters or represent the characters, whether it's in the name or the color, and I'm going to be giving them away, but I'll give you more information on how to enter that giveaway when I am finished. The first person that I am going to talk about is, of course, the first Disney princess herself, Snow White. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Snow White. Let's talk about her character design right off the back. I won't lie, the Disney classic version, she's not my favorite princess. I don't really think she's the prettiest, but she was like their first princess, so I understand. And then definitely the time at which she was created, it was a very nice character design, and then times were different. I mean, styles and trends were different in fashion and beauty, and so she is a really nice looking character. But I favor princesses, or I favor girls in general with long hair. I've had the short hair, didn't like it. I think they are just more feminine, very pretty. I just love females with long hair. So I really love in the show, in Once Upon a Time, how we get to see Mary Margaret with her short hair, very Snow White-like, and then we get to see Snow White in the Enchanted Forest with her hair long and very just, she's like, goes from being a warrior princess to the sweet Mary Margaret that is like very reminiscent of the original Disney version. Now, the Disney version has her, like I said, with short hair, a dress, very pale skin, and she's really simple. Whereas the design for her in Once Upon a Time is a little more complex, because I mean, I'm pretty sure she wears furs when she's in the Enchanted Forest, and I feel like the Snow White from the classic version would be very much against wearing furs. She would not want you to kill her little furry woodland creatures. And of course, Snow White's definitely wearing furs, and she's got bows and arrows and knives, and like she's all into the staying alive mode. So she is a lot different. And then of course we have the storybook version of Snow White, Mary Margaret, and she is a lot what I think Snow White, the classic version, would be if she were in now time. She's very sweet, she wears dresses a lot, she wears almost kind of retro-y looking things, her hair is short, very simple makeup. Both character designs though are amazing for Mary Margaret / Snow White in the show. I love her. She's adorable. Other than that, I like all character designs for Snow White, though the Disney classic version is my least favorite. I will say they only had like not even 2 hours to create Snow White and give her character development and all that, and again, being the first like full-length animated movie Disney made, I mean, they were working, they were coming up with all different things. I mean, but she didn't have much character development. She goes from being the damsel in distress to in the end being the damsel in distress. She was under the queen's rule, and then she was saved by the prince. Like, there's just not that much character development. I think she's very naive in the classic version, because I mean, come on, who would take a random fruit from a stranger? And okay, I'm sorry, I try not to be like awful here, but who would take an apple from a creepy old lady? Like, here, eat it. No thank you. But yeah, so I think she's naive. I think she's very much, like I said, the damsel in distress, the classic Disney princess, to where she just doesn't have a personality. I feel like the dwarves had more personality in the movie than Snow White did. She was just very sweet, like nothing seemed to make her mad. Whereas in the Once Upon a Time version, she is got all kinds of things. Like, we get to learn her backstory. We get to learn of how she was with her mother, how much she missed her mother, like what she did to make the queen hate her, because we don't get any backstory in the movie version, the cartoon version, because apparently the only reason the queen hates Snow White is because she's prettier than her. What? It just doesn't make sense for someone to have that much hatred. She's super vain in the movie. And here in Once Upon a Time, it's not so much as her being vain, it's her wanting revenge for from Snow White, because she felt like Snow White ruined her life because of getting her fiance, lover, boyfriend killed. And so we get to see how Snow White goes from being like this innocent little girl, but then realizing more and opening her eyes more, and then she turns into this like badass warrior princess, and she does like a complete 180. And then even in Storybrooke, like at the very beginning, she's just very agreeable. She's very much like the classic Snow White, but then slowly, like, her old personality, especially once the curse breaks, comes back, and she gets back into that I'm a hero too, I can save your butt just as much as you can save my butt. So, like, the character development, granted, they have had seasons to create this character development, and like I said, they only had little less than 2 hours to do character development for the movie. But I will say that in the more recent movies, princesses have had more of a personality. I felt like she was a very flat character in the classic version. But yeah, the character development isn't even comparable at this point, because, like I said, Snow White original, she doesn't really change much, whereas Snow White in Once Upon a Time, she goes through all these changes. And I love that we get to hear about her backstory. I do feel like we don't get as much Snow White dwarves interaction as in the original movie, which is fine, because I mean, even the dwarves have their own little side story, and Grumpy has his backstory. I also love her interactions with the prince. In the movie, she wasn't as talkative. She was kind of scared of the prince, whereas in Once Upon a Time, when she first meets the prince, she is robbing him. She is like taking his stuff. And so it's just, they're almost like two completely different characters. But I've noticed that Snow White, even in the movie that had Julia Roberts as the evil queen, even that portrayed Snow White as this like warrior princess, I can save myself type character. And I don't know, I really like that, and I guess it just says a lot about how our mindset has developed, because women don't really need men anymore. We still love them, believe me. Can't live with them, can't live without them, but we try really hard not to put all our eggs in one basket and then let him carry it, because if you trip, what's going to happen? You're going to end up with a bunch of like nasty egg mess. So the final thing that I'm going to talk about is her personality, and I've kind of touched base with the character development on this. Her personality in the movie was very sweet, very kind, very motherly. She was almost like a mother to the dwarves. Whereas in this, in the Once Upon a Time, shoot, if they were being stupid, she probably would have chucked them across the forest. She's very snarky sometimes. She'll snap back. She gets mad. She gets sad. She gets happy. She is pretty reasonable. The Mary Margaret. Mary Margaret is pretty reasonable. Now Snow White's a little, she's kind of reasonable, but she's kind of like unreasonable is the best way I can put it. She has so much dimensions to her personality. Like her love for the prince is just like basically her driving force, and like from that we get like her extremes. Like she can get extremely mad or she can get extremely sad, and it's all like because of the prince, which I think it's cute. I just said that we don't need men in our like society. We have that kind of mentality now, but it's also, she's a very independent, but at the same time it shows her being like dependent on Prince just because she cares so much about him. It's like he strives for her, or he makes her want to be a better person, which is how it should be, honestly. But yeah, just the whole plethora of different traits that she has now. She feels remorse for not being able to raise Emma. I mean, I'm sorry if this is a spoiler, but I mean, what Snow White from the, like, I can't even imagine the original Disney version of Snow White killing the Queen's mother. What? No. Like that actually was not something that I expected for her to actually go through on the show, because that is just so uncharacteristic of Snow White. Or at least what you would typically think of Snow White, because she's supposed to be fairest in the land, pure. I'm pretty sure she's like the purest princess when you think of the original cartoon versions. But she just has so much dimensions to her, and I don't even think we've seen all of them. Like, she's been protective, but now she has this little baby, Neil, and she is going to be like Mama Bear. Like, you let someone touch him again. Really looking forward to next season. And that's all I have for Snow White's compare and contrast. So if I skipped anything, definitely let me know what you like about her below. But I'm going to go ahead and get on to the giveaway. So for this giveaway, what it's going to be is, like I said earlier, it's going to be a nail polish collection based on Once Upon a Time. It's not going to be all the same brand or anything. It's going to be a bunch of different brands, and maybe it's the name, maybe it's the color. Something just screams that character to me, and so I'm going to include it. So since we talked about Snow White, I am of course going to have a Snow White nail polish. And the polish I picked for this was I Snow You Love Me, and it's by OPI. That's what it is. I'll probably insert a picture of it, but it's a clear nail polish and it's got big chunks of sparkle. I have this and I really like it. I've used it quite a few times. I haven't used this one. This is new. All of my nail polishes that I have in the giveaway are going to be new, never swatched, never nothing. If you want this nail polish, this is how it works. 1, you must be subscribed to me. 2, you must like this video. And 3, you must leave a comment. And you can put in the comments basically anything you want. Tell me what you like about this Once Upon a Time version of Snow White, and tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you like about the classic version. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me how to improve these videos, because this is the second time I've tried to film it, and I just want to make them really good to watch. So just leave a comment below. You can comment as many times as you'd like, but please don't put enter me or anything like that, because it's just going to get marked as spam. And this is just in the United States, unfortunately. This is my first giveaway, so I'm just going to keep it in the US for now. Until the premiere of the new season, I am going to be doing these videos where I compare and contrast the different characters with their classic Disney versions. I am super excited. And each video will have a different nail polish. You can comment on each video as many times as you like. I'm going to use a random picker website and pick one winner from each, or one person from each video, and then put them all together and then randomly put them in the website again, and that's how we're going to find the winner. I will announce the winner as well as a review of the very first episode of Once Upon a Time on this channel. And then I will contact the winner via YouTube message. If I forgot anything, I'll leave it down in the down bar. Make sure to let me know what characters you want me to compare and contrast. I will be doing most of the main characters, if not all of them, and I've already gotten quite a few nail polishes and I'm really excited. So just make sure to keep a lookout for that. I'm not going to have a set schedule because I don't know how many nail polishes I'm going to include yet. But just keep looking forward to that. I really am so excited to be talking about Once Upon a Time. I'm kind of obsessed with it. Andy and I both are. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.